Path of Night, War of Ages is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages podcast set in the world of darkness. We're all friends, we're here to have fun, but our story can include graphic violence, drug use, sexual content, and other mature themes. Content warnings can be found in the show notes. We've talked at our table about safety, comfort, and consent both as players and storytellers. We know what to expect, we're all excited to be here, and we want you to feel the same. So listener discretion is advised. And so continues the War of Ages.
Last time on War of Ages. The Cainites traveled east from Pesht, their wagon train moving slowly through the muddy roads of early spring. Along the way, Sadhbh spoke with Zorion about their budding friendship, and Sadhbh gifted Zorion a small guitar she had traded for in the city, as well as a makeshift prosthetic with which to play it, crafted from the remains of his original guitar. Zorion was thankful, but insisted that he would force the Abyss to make music for him, rather than use the device. Suddenly, the group was ambushed by a gargoyle, a flying monster that seemed to spew fire onto the camp, and a group of crossbowmen firing flaming bolts. Amidst the chaos, Zorion had Sadhbh hide in a wagon while he commanded his troops to rally to the defense of the camp. Roland clashed with the gargoyle, wrestling it from horseback and felling the fearsome beast. Catrinel used Koldunic sorcery to surveil the battlefield, coordinating the defenses with Zorion. And Alexios snuck into the enemy encampment and struck a near-lethal blow against the Tremere mage leading the assault. However, defended by a dozen powerful ghouls, Alexios was felled. Though he survived the initial onslaught, he was sent to torpor. On word from Catrinel that the gangrel was in need of aid, Roland rode into the enemy camp and rescued Alexios, while Zorion and his men turned the tide of the battle and claimed victory. There is a gentle knock on the door of the wagon. Sadhbh, it is I. It is safe to come out. We will face these terrors together, no?
I don't want to come out yet. I don't want to see everything that's been burnt.
The fires are being quenched. There are dead. Alexios has fallen into torpor. He lowers his voice, so hopefully only Sadhbh can hear him. I know your spirit, and what you will wish to do. So we may soon have to have a conversation in trust with our new friends, no?
Then why don't you just put him in here with me?
It will raise questions all the same, but both Zorion and Catrinel are quite perceptive. If you wish to do something, it may be time to have words.
If I come out, I'm not going to be able to stop doing something. And it would be cruel of you to ask me not to.
Then shall I fetch them? It would be quite cramped in there.
Why did you leave? Why didn't you stay here with me?
Because if I had been anywhere else, many more would have died.
But they're not your ward.
You would have died as well, had I not charged to where I was. You are my ward not simply because I must keep you safe, but because I must teach you to keep yourself safe. I do not wish to sound cruel, that is the furthest thing from my mind. But sometimes defense is best proactive.
And what have you taught me to that end, Roland?
I've been trying. The lessons you don't wish to learn. I am a poor teacher. Another thing we may wish to speak of.
You've taught me to lie.
Has come.
You've taught me to not be. You've taught me to hide. And now you're saying, stop doing that, Sadhbh.
I suppose I am. But only within reason. It is not all or nothing. You do not commit yourself completely to offense without reserving some energy to defend yourself, and you do not simply defend without attacking your enemies. It's a balance. One that I have done a poor job teaching you, because I am a poor teacher. I see this now. It has been years coming, perhaps.
Maybe I don't need a teacher.
You might as well say you do not need me.
Maybe I don't need you as a teacher. Maybe I need you as something else.
Then what possibly could you need me for? I cannot sit by your side every minute of every night to protect you. It's not protection. The world is full of dangers, and there will be times when I am not here.
Maybe I just need someone that I can just be around.
And you can. But there are others besides me here. So it is becoming a question of who we open the door to. I am not saying we don't open the door. This is the conversation I am initiating with you now. But who do we let in? Because it cannot be everyone. Trouble, apparently, and he waves a hand around even though she can't see him, at the bodies being collected and the remains of the camp. This will continue to happen, and it will only get worse as the Eastern Lords and their magicians solidify themselves here. The world is becoming less and less safe. Every night is darker than the last, so we need to figure out what to do. But we cannot do it just the two of us. We cannot do it alone. One day I will fall and die, and I need to know that you will still be able to walk forward.
Leontu is not going to let you die.
Someday he will die too.
Seems improbable.
So does fire-breathing winged beasts from the sky.
Those don't seem improbable to me. Your sires all wanted you to work together. I've no idea what mine wants.
Yours asked me to watch and teach you. I do not know any more than that. To protect you and teach you to protect yourself, that is what your sire asked of me. And I swore it, a solemn vow, a sacred oath, and I will not break it. To the best of my ability. But I am but one man. If you command me to flee this place, and it is just the two of us, and we run, then this is what I will do. This is what I must do. But as someone who is asked to protect and teach you, as much as it pains me, now may be the time for honest conversations. To some very select few, not to all.
Do you think for a minute that I'm thinking about gathering around the whole of the wagon train and saying, guess what, everyone?
You just spoke minutes ago about going out and not stopping yourself. This is the same thing. You did declare this is what you intended to do.
Because if I come out and I see what's been done and this time I have the power to do something about it...
You don't.
I do.
There are too many.
Then I go until I stop.
Which helps no one and kills many. A focused blade.
Which is why I'm not coming out.
Safe.
Listening.
Now I think is a time of question. Whether or not these are people we are forced to work with, or over the events of the last few weeks, are we building something? Is this the beginnings of an actual coterie of Cainites? I cannot answer that for the two of us. I have sworn to protect you to the best of my ability, to teach you to protect yourself to the best of my ability. And I swear on my honor to you now, I have no intention of abandoning that oath. But at least, if this is something to be built, and I can protect you in this moment, I think it may be time to at least speak to Zorion and Catrinel. And if you wish to do what you have done, what you wish to do for Alexios in this moment, I am asking you to trust me. If you say no, then we will leave. And the story of what this could be ends here, in spite of my vows and my promises. Because my older is to you.
There's a long pause as Saif considers what he's saying. She considers what the ramifications are. Despite what he thinks of himself, he has been a good teacher to her. She does recognize the value of self-preservation will do more good than the immediate payoff of being able to fix someone's wounds. But she also recognizes she is still learning. But if nothing else, Saif is a survivor and a problem solver.
Do you have a bit of cloth with you? I don't want to see what's out there, so can you give me a blindfold?
If you wish to walk unseen, I swear to you that I will help you not to see. And you may take my hand and I will guide you where we need to go, wherever that may be.
I want a blindfold that I can take off when I'm ready. And I will hold your arm because I do trust you.
His hand goes back to the place in his tabard where he was reaching before when he was talking to Catrinel. And he nods, mostly to himself because she still can't see him. I have such a thing for you.
And he can hear her scooting in the wagon, and she will put her hand out through where it's tied. The fabric cover is tied shut in the back. There's a bit of blood where she's been wiping her eyes, but otherwise it's just her hand shaking a little bit.
He reaches into the tabard, pulls out a sizable piece of clean cloth that she knows he has used for, like, handkerchiefs and to wipe blood and whatever in the past, and he passes the clean white cloth into her.
Saif takes a breath as she blindfolds herself and holds onto her staff as she scoots out of the wagon, bad leg first because it doesn't really bend so well.
He reaches a hand up and helps to ease her out, letting her step out of her own accord. He doesn't lift her out, but he is there as a brace and a support.
She takes his hand and squeezes it tight, and then kind of moves her hand up his arm to be a better guide.
He will guide her with one hand, still holding the reins of Yelantiu with the other, and will walk both of them back into camp, looking for Zorion and Catrinel.
Imagine Zorion and Catrinel are probably looking over the prisoners at this point.
Catrinel had socked towards the gargoyle. As your men are trying to put him into a wagon, she is
they're
not.
They're not loading him into a wagon.
Okay.
They're just dragging him back to where we're keeping all of the prisoners in the middle of this wagon circle.
Then it seems that her path is direct towards just the gargoyle's location, if that's on the ground. Still, that's where she's headed.
Yep.
The only hesitation she makes is very brusquely to command one of your men to bring along a torch for her.
There are, I think, light sources and probably like torches along the wagons, so this area is well lit. I don't know if any of the men inside here are carrying a torch. That'll probably be some of the men on the outside who are kind of scouring the area to make sure that there's no other traps or enemies nearby.
Well, she doesn't care how they acquire it. She just commands it.
So one of them will absolutely bring you a torch.
Where are you? Because she's not quite remembering to look around now that she's had her obligations covered.
He is standing nearby, reviewing this group of prisoners that are now at our mercy. Probably with Diego. The two of them are kind of going over things, and Diego's pointing out things and going over a list of what was lost in this skirmish.
What you'll see and be able to hear is Catrinel commanding that the gargoyle be brought away from the others, away from tall grasses.
I'm sorry, what exactly is going on?
She turns to you, and that maroon glint in her eyes is brought out by her anger and the firelight. I wish to burn him.
The stone creature?
Yes. This is no creature. No more than you or I.
Explain for me, my dear. This creature was shown to me in visions, but I have never encountered something like this before.
I will not tolerate this Tremere parody of my people, the prisoners that they've taken from the Semizi, from the Gangrel, from the Nosferatu. This amalgamation of their horrors.
Are you telling me this is some kind of Tremere war ghoul?
I do not care for what the Tremere call it. Ghoul or Cainite or creature of their creation. Once it was of my clan, and it will be freed from this.
You're telling me that this thing is of the blood of Cain?
Yes.
Zorion makes a face at that and kind of looks down, horrified at what this thing is. Can you kill it with fire?
That I don't know, but it seemed a worthy first try. Especially as they see so fit to have him spit fire and take on the name of Dragon.
Can you hold your rage until we can all decide a proper course of action with our prisoners?
This is mine.
Excuse me.
This was once Semizi.
I understand. Now it is not.
Catrinel tilts her head, staring at Zorion, taking him in.
And if anything, it is a trophy of Roland's.
Yes, he seemed so excited to kill a dragon.
I think he was excited to fight a creature of epic size and threat, to prove his valor, which he did. Either way, it is now at our mercy. If we are to execute it, let us be swift and sure about it, but in a collected purpose.
I would also accept, Zorion, for you to draw your blade and pull it across this creature's throat. If you think that fire's too angry.
I think your temper is out of control, and I would like to see you rein it in.
Oh, I think it's very much in control.
Very well. Then let us discuss what we will do with our prisoners. And he motions to all of them. But perhaps we do it with everyone present.
She tilts her chin up at you, eye sliding to the torch that's right by her, not concealing whatsoever the temptation to bat it down onto the body like an annoyed cat.
There is nothing to be gained from jumping to the slaughter of those at your mercy. His head tilts and his expression darkens. There is much to be lost when doing so.
Then you would have this person, Cainite, ghoul, suffer this Tremere blasphemy
We all suffer Tremere blasphemy. Get used to it. He will turn to go try and find someone who's seen Roland and if the horse has been fed or not. And maybe send off a runner to be like, once that beast is fed and sated, make sure his master comes to me.
The runner almost immediately finds Roland still leading Violentieux and helping a blindfolded Saïv walk towards the center where Catrinel and Zorion are. He waves him off and marches the three of them straight towards the two other Cainites. Someplace, and he stops because he's not quite sure how to say it.
We need privacy. All of us.
I think it might be time, if the both of you are amenable to it, to have a conversation.
It's exactly what I was thinking. We need to discuss these, and he motions towards all of the prisoners on the ground.
That is one of the things that we must discuss, yes. But it may be time for some honest conversations amongst us. In private.
An eyebrow cocks at that.
Saïv, if I pass your arm to one of our companions here, this is not a good place for Violentieux to continue to be unviolently. Might I take 2 minutes of time while Zorion leads the group of you and brings Alexios to some place we could speak?
Bearing in mind that if any of these prisoners are Cainites, and they have disciplines of heightened senses, we'd have to be pretty far away to not be heard.
Zorion makes a motion to a guy who's standing nearby with a wooden stake and a mallet, and a stake is driven through the heart of the Tremere.
The stake crumbles to ash, and the man with the mallet looks around, deeply concerned, and it is then that Ambrose marches over, collects the mallet, grabs another stake, and mashes it into the chest of the small Tremere, and seems to find purchase. When Ambrose is certain that the stake has found this wizard's little black heart, he gives Zorion a confident nod.
Zorion will then take Saïv's arm and shout for a tent to be set up. And we'll start walking back over towards the center of the wagon circle and wait for this small little enclosure to be set up. Right around Alexios, effectively.
Saïv will, with her arm, with the staff in hand, will start kind of feeling out for Catrinel to see if she can find her with her hand. Catrinel, are you there?
Catrinel is, she's not difficult to find. You're standing within range of her, but when you find her, you can tell that she's standing still. There's no pretense of humanity. She's focused on something. And the faint crackle of fire is nearby. Yes.
Will you come with me?
This conversation is of some value to you.
I'm hoping it's valuable to all of us.
But not just the value of war and spoils.
I don't know how to answer that because I don't know how war and spoils are valued beyond the head of cattle.
Saïv doesn't see this, but Catrinel actually just rolls her eyes and acquiesces. When you say that you're like, I don't fucking know, man, that actually seems to be like enough for her to give in to your request.
Saïv kind of holds their arms oddly close, like she's pretending not to be afraid.
Catrinel is steady as she walks you over to the tent. She doesn't say much, doesn't do much. It seems that focus is retained. But as you cling, as you're not quite sure, you find that your steps are guided well.
Roland, as he goes to lead Violentio away, after Saeed has sort of walked off a little bit with the others, will look at the prisoners of war and then look over. Ambrose is still here, right?
That's right.
We'll look at Ambrose and sort of gesture towards the prisoners. In your estimation, did any of these men battle with dishonor? Which of them shot from the shadows without declaring themselves?
The man chuckles. And I don't think I've heard any of them speak at all. He grabs one of them and begins dragging him over to you. The man yelps, and Ambrose he is a very broadly built man and does not seem deterred at all by this prisoner's resistance.
Roland will grab the prisoner and just casually also drag him along to the outskirts of camp, sort of near the other horses, but in a little penned-in area that's mostly for show, not that it would actually stop Violentio from doing anything, kept away from the others, and will lead him in, dump the man on the ground in the pen with Violentio, and then step in also and look at him and go, I am giving you a chance that others would not. Submit and die, or defend yourself.
The man looks bewildered by your words, and slowly his eyes are drawn to this dark steed that watches him and is unusually quiet. Doesn't sneer, doesn't snort, it doesn't make any of the sounds or exhibit any of the behavior of a mortal horse. And instead, it is this quiet, patient predator. As the man seems like he might decide one way or another how he wishes to die, the horse makes that decision for him and lurches forward, drags the man to the ground with its mouth, and begins to tear into his belly with its teeth, eating the man as he screams and fades away.
Few minutes later, as there is like the sounds of screaming coming from the edges of the camp, Roland will come back and look at Zorion.
It seems that his men had in short order set up a tent, and none of the coterie is to be seen. They're all inside the tent.
It seems things are in hand, Zorion. Does your camp have a tradition of celebrating a victory with music?
This is not a victory yet. We are ambushed on the road on the way to our destination. When we arrive safely, we will celebrate.
Unfortunate. I thought music would help to further obfuscate the conversations that we're about to have. Very well. And he will step to the tent and hold the flap aside for him.
Inside, Saeed has taken off her blindfold, and when she sees Alexios, she pauses for a moment as a million thoughts go through her head at once. And perhaps counterintuitively, she drops her staff and hobbles over on her own. And it looks painful, but she seems to think she moves faster without it. And when she gets close to Alexios, she drops down and curls her one good leg underneath her. Her other one is just kind of out to the side. And she just kind of starts clearing his hair from his face. She'll use the blindfold to wipe the blood from his mouth, his nose, and his eyes. And once everyone's inside, she will look to Roland. I intend to take the lead in this conversation, if you don't mind.
It's yours to be had.
Zorion sits himself on a small camp chair and starts kind of just adjusting his gear to be a little bit looser, pulls the male coif off, and kind of fusses his hair. Before we are being started, I understand that this is something that we want to be private about.
Roland looks at Sadhbh and then looks back at Zorion, pulls the coif off. He is once again resting his wrist on the hilt of his sword and has not sat yet. The things said in this tent should perhaps remain there.
I've already said I wanted to speak privately. I don't know why that's being restated.
Zorion kind of gives a sour look at that. Diego, he calls to outside the tent.
Diego rushes over and makes his way to the tent entrance.
Diego steps into the tent with a pewter pitcher that has steaming hot blood in it. It's just in the cold air, the hot blood is still fresh. And on a small camp table, places it with a few pewter cups. And he kind of perks an ear to Zorion. Make sure there is a large cordon. I want privacy.
Sadhbh actually looks irate. You knew I wanted privacy, and you had your man in listening distance.
I trust this man with my life.
I don't care what you trust him with.
Why is it exactly you are so irate? He takes a cup, pours a blood into there, and starts drinking from it.
Because I asked for something. Something simple.
And you have been given this simple thing. And now I have instructed my man that there be no one near this tent.
Can I trust you, Zorion? Yes or no?
Yes, you can trust me.
Then next time I ask for privacy, your men aren't here.
Stop being petulant with me. I am not in the company of children, and I am not in the habit of keeping company with children.
Then get used to it. I am a Cainite, same as you.
Act like it then.
I am entitled to the same things you are, Zorion. It is not always your way. And I have been quiet long enough while you have had it.
Then be gone with you from my tent. Be gone with you from my wagons. And be gone with you from all of my generosity. Walk to Tehuta, if you please. And take your hedge knight with you. Know your place, Sadhbh. I like you. I will give you the world, but I expect a bit of respect in return.
Where have I been disrespectful when it wasn't given to me first?
I have done nothing but be respectful towards you.
You violated my privacy.
You are insane to think that. Have patience.
You can give your sovereignty away, you know that. Even if you can't lose it.
I have no sovereignty.
That's your choice, then. I still have mine.
Simmering, injured, Catrinel, throughout this argument, has walked up to the pewter cups, poured out some blood for herself, drank it, poured out some blood for herself, and goes back to where she was seated, is sitting watching the two of you over the brim of her cup, almost considering the blood within.
I was ready to have a conversation.
As was I.
It wasn't your turn yet. It was still my turn. Sorry for pausing. I came in here ready to have a conversation about whether I could place my life in any of your hands. And I thought I knew the answer. And you violating that promise. That simple request. Now makes me not sure I can handle that.
And what promise did I violate?
Request. One so small I didn't think it had to be said more than once.
There is a difference between having privacy and having secrecy. And if I cannot tell my most trusted servants to ensure secrecy, then I don't know what the fuck you're asking for.
Am I not translating the word privacy? Well enough.
You are not.
Then I don't want you telling anyone. Outside the people in this room, no one knows. And I didn't think that had to be stated.
Well, now you have it. You have your secrecy. My men are ensuring a cordon that no one is nearby this tent.
But I don't trust you.
Why not?
Because
I can't listen to a simple request and understand exactly what you mean.
Because this is the response when I push back against it.
You are losing your temper.
So are you.
After you spit on my generosity and my hospitality to you.
And you're losing your temper after I traded away one of my prized possessions to give you back something close to yours.
Zorion looks very conflicted. He closes his eyes and centers himself. I realize now that this is the accounting of a Brujah. And you have yet to be taught manners. I am sorry for earning your ire, and will endeavor to never do so again.
Why are you stooping to being petty?
It is the accounting of La Sombra.
Well then thank God you're pretty. 'Cause your manners are shite.
You see him kind of twitch a little bit.
Saif, now it has been your turn to be petty.
I give what I get. I've already said it.
This is not the conversation I had hoped we would all be having.
Nope, me neither.
Zorion has done as requested and given us the secrecy for this conversation that is required. I hope that we can have that conversation now.
Really? 'Cause I don't think we can.
Even this is too much to walk away from. We go forward, or we leave. The conversation remains the same. The circumstances have not changed.
What is this?
Roland is way too tunnel vision to be able to respond to Catrinel. He continues looking at Saeed and says,
It remains your story to tell. Do we leave here now? Or no?
What is my place here?
That's the conversation. Are we being honest with each other? Are we taking a risk or no?
Am I a risk you want, Zorion?
My sire instructed me that I am able to trust the four of you and the four of you alone in my endeavors here. I trust him completely. So I intend to fulfill this covenant. Yes, you are a problem that I want.
Then you should know I'm not under a Brujah's accounting. I've passed my accounting. And I am not a Toreador. But to be what I am is too dangerous to name.
He looks at you with very unconcerned eyes and sips from his pewter cup.
I come from the lineage. My sire was Generis. His sire was Simeon. His sire was Roche. And his sire was Saulat.
When she says it out loud, Roland's wrist very subtly moves from the hilt of his sword, and his fingers curl around the handle in case this goes real south.
And all I've wanted to do this whole time is be a child of Saulat. All I have wanted to do is this. And she reaches out and puts her hand on Alexios. I will spend 6 blood over 2 rounds, and all of the ag goes away. And then she will, over 2 more rounds, heal all of the lethal. As soon as her hand rests on Alexios's, sort of the place where his chest and his shoulder come together, there is a bright blue eye in the center of her forehead with blood tears trickling out of it that opens wide. And the feeling, Alexios, that you get if you've ever had a warm bath that just felt so good after a really long day and just swept all the sweat and the soreness away. That's like that for your whole body, especially where it's sorest. That's where the relief is strongest. Everyone around just feels this aura of peace and comfort, like you've been reunited with the briefest idea of your most treasured childhood memory. And once he's healed, she will withdraw her hand and set it in her lap. And I just don't want to be anything else. My sire trusted me to Roland. It's a tradition. The Salubri are trusted to the Bruja.
Alexios, your eyes open to the word Salubri. And as your eyes open, there is this blue light that has filled the tent that cools and fades. And you kind of come to hearing Saiv's voice making reference to the Salubri.
It seems that I've missed something. Where are we?
Yes, you have. And as Catrinel says that, she stands from her place and, taking from the counter or the table that pitcher of blood in one of the cups, she strides over to Saiv, fills the cup, hands it to her, and kneels to stare at Alexios's wounds knitting themselves back together, her own clothes pierced. But that coiled aggression less present from her, replaced by intrigue and something soft, maybe that she hasn't shown in a very long time. Whatever brought with it in that blue wave of peace. Oh, in all the ethereal beauty that Catrinel has, there's a glimpse more of who she might have been as a human.
When the eye opens, there is a coiled tension in Roland that is very similar to right before the lance strike at the tournament, waiting to see if he is going to, maybe unbeknownst to Saiv in the past, once more commit unspeakable violence against those who have the secret. But he can't keep that repeated look of sort of quiet, almost divine awe off his face.
Zorion does not look surprised in the least, but he does look fascinated as he stares at this use of Valoran for the first time.
And having to hide is exhausting. And Zorion, I'm sorry I yelled, but I am not sorry for demanding my privacy when it comes to the risk of my life. Because my sire hasn't told me anything about any of this. He hasn't told me who to trust. In fact, he said, trust no one. Trust Roland. And I haven't been able to trust anyone, least of all myself. But I see you all before me bleeding, and I just want to make it go away. Because the last time my family was hurt and dying, all I could do was watch.
Catrinel presses the cup that she brought to you into your hand.
Am I able to drink it, or I have to can only feed if it's freely given?
I don't think I know that.
If it's
Do I?
consented to, and I don't know about that.
It was not.
Saiv will cautiously take a sip, and then it won't do anything for me. I can only... It has to be... That's the weakness. My beast is too gentle. It doesn't want blood that wasn't freely given.
Catrinel makes a face at your innate need for virtue. Then we'll call another in. I can imagine that this must be taxing.
It is. But it's less costly for me to heal you than for you to heal yourselves. And less time consuming.
Yes, I'd like that. And she hands your cup to Alexios, setting the pitcher back atop the table.
He will finally stop laying on the ground.
Sadhbh will put her hand on his back as he starts to sit up, and with her strength 1, it's more just like a suggestion.
He gives her a nod. He takes the cup up. He drains it. Well, thank you very much. I had generally expected to not see, night again. But I thought it was best to remove a wizard.
It was a good instinct, but perhaps in the future coordinate with the rest of us better.
Yeah, we can talk about it later. This seems unimportant right now.
You and Roland fought bravely.
I think all of us have secrets now that we are keeping from one another.
Do we?
Well, we led with ours, did we not?
You're still keeping secrets from me, but I'm not going to push you for them.
There's a difference between secrets and things we don't wish to talk about.
I will say, my sire did inform me of your heritage, but to see it in person is something completely different.
And for what it's worth, I don't steal souls. I am not tracking with demons.
I do not believe the lies of the Tremere, of which there are many.
Yes.
The Cainite world at large does. At least in Europe.
That is not at large.
Many of the princess cities. More domains by the year.
The world is much larger.
Well, my clan has been whittled down to nearly nothing at this point. The warriors swore to protect the healers, but the healers, for the most part, don't wish retribution against the Tremere for what was done to our sire. And so the warriors follow the healers, but the warriors are obligated to aid any who request aid.
I hear tell that in the court of the Crescent, your bloodline is protected and live free.
Far from Tremere control, I'm guessing.
On the other side of the Bosphorus, yes.
I'd like to see that someday.
It is not very far right from here. But neither is Vienna. So I understand why you are so cautious.
Where you find the Eastern Lords, you find Tremere. Thick as thieves, a lot of them.
Is that what you seek, then, in telling us this? Protection?
I have protection. And she'll glance at Roland. I didn't want Alexios to die. I didn't want him bloodbound to anybody for the sake of him walking again. I'm tired of living like I've got something to hide.
You were searching for a life worth living.
There are certain things I cannot give her. Not alone.
His poetry's terrible.
He looks actually upset at that. But now that the conversation seems to be going this way, that, tension relaxes a little bit out of Roland, and he goes over and takes a cup of blood as well, and will finally sit.
Catrinel slides a little judgmental look at the idea that you have terrible poetry that you're writing. It's not lingering, but
it's endearing.
that makes it worse, as there's a flicker of that in her expression.
But Sadhbh, when Alexios does say, you want a life worth living, she kind of looks at him with big eyes and nods.
Well, I have no use or wish to give the Tremere what they want. She leans back in her seat, satisfied.
Well, I know that I don't particularly like the Tremere, and I also know that I owe at least you a debt, and possibly somebody else, because last time I saw myself, I was surrounded by men with swords.
You were, I am curious, Alexios, admittedly, how you found yourself in the midst of the enemy camp moments after this ambush had started.
I might take a little bit of that debt, considering I directed you there.
I mean, you also directed me there, so...
She does not seem offended by that. She just laughs over her wine.
It is true, if we are giving credit where it is due. Catrinel is the one who told me that you were in peril and where to find you.
It seems the Tremere came with a bunch of ghouls, which I did not expect.
You should. In the future. They surround themselves with guards of an arty breed.
Do we know why they were after us?
Yes.
We have guesses. We have not found out actually why.
My informant back at the party told me that they were coming for us because of Catrinel's connection to the Lupines. Because she was a Coldinist, or because, I don't know, something about her family.
Was the Lupine attack your doing?
There's blood on her fangs from the cup as she tilts her head back and smiles at you. And if it is...
That is not an answer.
It would be good to know if you are going to seek lupines in the midst of a prince's city while we are in it.
Almost like bored with your seriousness, but taking into account that you're asking real and valuable questions. She licks her teeth clean and, with a little huff of breath, says, "Would that I were capable. I did not sick a lupine upon their city, but I do understand why they might come to such a conclusion."
So it is something that you can do.
Catrinel dips an elegant fingertip into her own pocket, and deep, safe in its confines, she pulls out another fingernail, and she holds it up to the dim light of the tent, examining it, very pleased with herself. Now, to be clear, that's not something we do. We don't use our magics to conjure lupines. We do our best not to be ripped to shreds by them. But if I were, well, an impotent and petulant prince who didn't like very much being rejected, I might too find reason to imagine that a sorceress did this.
To be clear, there are many reasons why this Tremere may have come after us. It could have been insult offered to Ricard, or it could be that we are in possession of a mortal desired by an elder in Kanu.
I suppose.
As I understand, Ricard himself is simply a cat's paw of Bolsku.
Well, I don't imagine that we helped. And when she says we, she tilts her chin to Roland.
He cocks an eyebrow back at her.
She gives him a smile in camaraderie. Wonderful job at the joust.
It was boring.
Yes, it was. I wanted to see a much better show from you.
You should have come to the orgy.
What? I struck both of his pins for the first 2 rounds and held my blow for the last. It's as much as you can do in a 3 rounds.
Yes, but ultimately you rode twice. I would have liked to have seen you ride many more times.
Yes, well, I did not know that he was having
to
mortals
pulverize
in
the
his...
first mortal that you ride against.
I didn't know the man was immortal.
Well, you should have known.
Alexios got ridden really well at the orgy.
This is true.
Yes, and how exactly was it that you came to find yourself in the midst of an orgy?
I had very little to say with that to start with.
The
witches, they hit me with some witch magic.
My God.
You're blaming witch magic.
To be fair, I did look at them while they were busy, and they were using witchcraft on them.
They were using both witch magic and, female magic.
You are the same but opposite of Roland. Extremely talented at what you do, but extremely unaware of everything around you.
Great, take that to note.
It is a compliment. Backhanded, yes, but a compliment.
If you're so jealous, we have enough people here. We could make up for it.
I'll just watch.
Weren't you... Not that this isn't a great topic of discussion.
Catrinel smiles, victorious at making everyone uncomfortable.
You are far too beautiful to share with anyone, my dear.
She gives you, that acknowledgement of, why, yes, what a nice compliment. But she doesn't say it. It's that, dip of the head and grin.
Zorion was preparing for an ambush before everyone left to the tournament.
The talent of the Abyss had shown me that this was in the making, which does lead me to think that this is the doings of an elder for reasons not connected to the night of festivities in Pesh.
And definitely not a lupine, but...
Wait.
To be clear, whoever killed all those people up there was definitely not a lupine.
Whoever killed all those people... I assumed this was a lie that was told.
Zorion smiles and sits back and kind of eyes Alexios.
What do you mean, all those people who were killed?
Well, Roland and all of his guards.
Were killed?
Rolandito.
Yes.
And you know this because...
I did it.
Ah.
Did they mistake your wolf, then?
Claws are a hell of a thing.
What?
I have been instructing my talents to try and view this Cainite this whole time we have been traveling with him. And for some reason, spirits that have no conception of gravity or walls or ceilings were unable to view him. Tell me, Alexios, what is your actual heritage?
Still gangrel.
You're being evasive. We all have secrets, but this does seem to be a time of sharing, friend Alexios.
To be fair, it was a time of sharing because the person sharing decided it was.
And I'm asking him to decide it was.
I am open to telling things that put me in danger, not others. But I was there, among other things, to kill Roland.
Is there some particular reason that you stripped that privilege from the rest? I do believe that others would have liked to see him die.
You are the most bloodthirsty thing I have ever encountered. I did not expect it.
Oh, you're welcome.
I did not consider it, and I also thought it would be much easier to do on my own.
More to the purpose, there is a reasonable expectation, well, a guess, I suppose, that those deaths are the reason cited for us being chased from the city, so if you are going to kill people in the future, a heads up would be nice.
Coordination.
C'est vrai.
I'm not making any promises.
Might I ask why?
By
you
what?
were sent to go kill this meaningless man?
He was a link in the chain. I was able to get his records. It seems that he has been collecting people with the Setites, and we weren't entirely sure how. He had a connection with the Setites. They were stealing people and bringing them to this area and pushing them through this region. We did not know who he was answering to or getting the people from.
So you are an enemy of the followers of Set.
Yes.
Kind of scrunches his face up a little bit. And in Arabic, will just kind of turn to Alexios and be like, you are clearly trying to hide your identity as the Banu Hakim. Why will you stick to this ridiculous notion of being gangrel?
Back in Arabic, he says, I swear to you, I am not Banu Hakim. I do work with the Banu Hakim, but that is not my bloodline.
Interesting.
What was it that we were saying about secrets?
I was saying, back in Romanian, that I am not a Banu Hakim.
I was going to ask why we kept saying the word Banu Hakim. You are not a child of Hakim?
I am not a child of Hakim, though I do generally appreciate their company.
But you are an opponent of this cult of Set.
They are Older and more dangerous for all of the same reasons the Tremere are. I would consider them portions of the same tradition.
They have definitely helped the Tremere gather their feet, much like the Ventru, but they seek to corrupt everything.
Well, then fuck them.
Indeed.
I'm sorry, I don't want to be the one who is confused, but I'll ask the questions for us all. Does this mean they are, and Roland looks around the tent, maybe more nervous, and he says real quiet, like the body.
Saeed looks aghast that he said it.
Zorion slowly turns his head to, a cocked sideways look at Roland, how did you hear about that? Surprised that the knight actually does have some learning.
My sire taught me about them. There's a Bruja tradition. In our places of learning and training, we keep trophies from everyone we take. My sire told me that there is one clan we do not take trophies from, but they are left salted for the sun.
Yeah, I don't know about these Bali.
Zorion also kind of puts a hand up
Great. These terrible people.
Saeed, starts nervously, grabbing through her hair, just I need this to stop, sort of body language.
If they're a horrible, corrupting influence that should be purged from the earth, then yes. Yeah.
Okay,
similar.
well, same thing then.
So, what are you, then? Some assassin?
Sometimes. That is what I've been trained to do, yes. I am also to infiltrate, to gather intel, but mainly to kill.
By whom?
The Banu Hakim. Partially.
So you are not of their blood, but you are their agent.
No.
This does make sense.
Does it?
The Banu Hakim have very strict codes about the assassins they use and the targets they may take. Occasionally, when one survives, they will not send agents after them again. But rules may be broken if they subcontract outside of their lineage.
Roland looks personally offended by the idea of finding loopholes in your morality code.
Sometimes people need to die even if they happen to escape.
Are you here for me?
Should I be?
I do not think so, but
Maybe you should list your sins.
I escaped the Banu Hakim once.
And did they enlist you?
No. But they will not send their agents after me again. Perhaps a gangrel, though.
You were not mentioned.
And what had drawn their ire?
Myself?
Yes.
My sire?
Paying his price, then.
He contracted them.
To kill you.
Indeed.
Catrinel smiles, kind of settling in for story time.
A test of your mettle?
That. And a child that was free of being attacked again by the Banu Hakim would be useful in the future. If I survived, I would be a very capable piece in the jihad.
A certain harsh practicality, Roland says with kind of an appreciating look.
This was before I was embraced.
How did you survive them as a man?
I had with me a company of knights, 3 of whom survived that day.
Huh.
And I would like to think I did not survive it whole. He kind of taps on his leg with a shadowed hand. So, Catrinel, what are your secrets that you are keeping?
Catrinel, since the battle, has not withdrawn these protean claws, even as she grasps this little pewter cup delicately. In this moment, she chooses to let each one tap against the side of the cup in succession. Well, I suppose there's a few I had considered. She pulls her other hand up, examines the edges of her blades. Raising these to your throat, Zorion.
You wish to kill me?
No, No, I don't. Just that you might have had a little too much fun talking about controlling me.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, don't you remember? Or was it lost in the heat of the moment? When you promised Nova Arpad that I could be handled.
A smile kind of cracks across Zorion's face. I see you were listening in with my discussion with Nova.
Wasn't just discussion.
It had not been my original intention, but I'd be lying if I didn't say it was fun.
I was worried about you being alone with her. I listened in too long. I'm sorry.
Nova will be a dangerous enemy of ours. I would rather be on speaking terms and have piqued her interest than be something that she can casually go after with no attachment.
And all this talk of making me dog food.
That was her threat. And it will not happen.
Her pleasure. Yes, I know that you provided her other pleasures.
I was also letting her know that I am not someone that will bow down to her or her will. I was letting her know, instructing her, that I am an equal to be feared.
Oh.
And we exchanged blood so that her mind would be obsessed with me and not the rest of you.
Does not that bond work two ways, Zorion?
It does.
I'll put it this way. I respect the planning. I think it's for the best that you fuck her against a wall and that she be screaming your name. Also, if you are, and I think you are, such a talented manipulator, then it would only make sense for someone who will be not told what to do to watch whether you intend to tell me.
The group of us discussing strategy is something that we have long put off. But this conversation that Sadhbh has begun is the first step towards that.
Sadhbh looks a little put on the spot, like that wasn't her plan, but then fixes her face to be like, yes, this was totally my plan.
But the fact that you are eavesdropping on me is not the kind of secrets I was asking for. I was asking for the kind of secrets you are keeping that are relevant to the strategy we must all conceive together.
There are a few. Some perhaps that you've understood. Clearly, I do not like the Eastern Lords. Their pretenses. The fact that they even call themselves Eastern when they come from small, infant nations, barely grinding into millennia. The way that they manipulate people with religion, slavery, control. And it would not be any great secret that I would seek to usurp them.
You wouldn't be the first clan of usurpers, I'll tell you that much.
Yes, well, I hope to take the domain of Schausberg. And there's more as well. I have, if we speak of powerful enemies. And with that, she looks at Alexios. And as she finishes her sentence, she maintains eye contact. Then perhaps also, I should speak of Kupala. In these lands, there has been a poison. And that sickness, it's been spreading. It goes by the name Kupala. It's some dark power hiding beneath the earth. It seeks to alter me, to remake me, others like me most likely. And I will not allow it. I will not be made to bow to some false god. And I must learn its plans before it ruins more of my homeland.
This cupola is then an entity?
Yes, something of great power and terrible intention.
Like a spirit of the land sort of thing?
There are legends in my clan of when the eldest first met Cupola, that the eldest came across a funereal mound, bodies, lupines who had died horrifically, melted together with the presence of this Cupola in each one. This would have been when the eldest first arrived in these lands. And that entity, Cupola, it appeared to be in some kind of slumber, sealed away by these lupines in whatever act of what bravery that they had done in order to bind it there. And it yearned for freedom. And our eldest, he helped free this Cupola in exchange for mystic knowledge. Some even think that it's the reason that we need to carry our dirt with us. That our connection to the land and what's beneath it has been corrupted in the same way that Cupola corrupts everything.
So it is a wellspring of dark energy.
Perhaps.
Almost like a ley line. A sentient ley line.
That seems quite an accurate way to think of the way that it stretches and infects.
And unless I am misunderstanding, you fear that it is attempting to infect you?
Yes.
Just you or your clan?
I believe that my entire clan is at risk. We have our surface problems, the Ventrue, the Tremere, but it's Cupola who is really threatening us.
Sounds like something that should be excised from this land.
Can it be?
I need to learn more. What its plans are, what its intentions are.
Is this why your sire is sending you to the pass?
Yes. And I believe, like everything else stated here, it's one of our secrets to be guarded. Personal secrets. Bits of where we came from aside. There are some matters that carry importance.
Zorion solemnly nods at that.
I told my sire that I believed I could work with you. Work with you all. I believe you to be the sort who would stand up against this infiltration.
And you, Roland, what secrets do you keep that are relevant to the group of us?
When Catrinel said, I believe you to be the sort to stand up against corruption and infiltration, Roland actually looked back over at Sadhbh. Along the road, they had talked all sorts over the years of, like, where are we going, what are we doing? But when Zorion addresses him, he gives a small shrug. Sadhbh is the greatest of my secrets.
I'm my own secret.
And that statement insinuates you do have others.
He thinks for a second.
Roland, tell them about Leon.
Roland narrows his eyes, and there's sort of a puzzling, like, I don't remember telling you about Leon. But then he looks back at Zorion and Catrinel and Alexios. How familiar are you with some of the petty princes in their domains in France and the goings-on in Lyon?
Somewhat knowledgeable.
Not at all.
I should like to imagine you to be the expert.
Well, in matters of Lyon, I suppose that is true. My sire and I both are, let us say, of a political persuasion that understands that those in power often forget the obligations of that power.
Yes, they do.
And when this happens, One cannot expect those with that power to give it up so easily or to suddenly learn the lessons of such obligation. In Lyon there was a small and petty man who had been granted dominion by the greater kingdom, and had forgotten that it is the duty of those with power to wield it to the benefit of those without. The Toreador fall into this trap, but it is also true of many clans, the Ventru, the La Sombra, the Zimitzi. Their power is held within the aristocracy, within those with power, the clergy, the nobility. My sire and I are of a mind that sometimes a reminder of the fragility of that mask of power between yourself and those beneath you needs to be perhaps violently reasserted. So with some allies of ours, a network of contacts, we moved to foment this understanding. Took apart piece by piece those within power, stirred violence and death in the city, and ultimately killed to a man everyone who stood with such a cruel and petty individual. This is maybe the most recent example, but it is why, apparently, he did not meet us when we are in Pest. He is off doing the same now. There are times when princes will shake their fists and get angry or frightened at the movements of the furores. I count myself among their number.
I see that all of our sires have raised us to believe in removing corruption from the root. This is good.
Is that what you're here for?
Indeed. I am the first scouting maneuver in a plan to take vengeance for our progenitor. My sire and myself seek vengeance for Zilla, mother of much of our kind.
Saïv nods, knowing her own heritage.
There are plans in motion to kill those of the third generation.
Roland does not look at all put off by this idea.
Zorion eyes Catrinel to see her reaction to this.
Zilla, does that ring any bells for me?
What's your occult?
My occult is 3.
All right, why don't you give me an intelligence occult roll? Your difficulty is 8.
I have 3 successes because I don't have a relevant spec, because one of those was a 10.
Okay, so with 3 successes, you know that Zilla, also known as the Huntress, is the sire of a handful of antediluvians. Among them, Saulat, Malkov, Hakim, Set, and Absimiliard, the founder of the Nosferatu.
Catrinel, when you look at her to assess her reaction to this idea, seems intrigued, but she seems to be measuring your audacity. You don't see any trace of revilement. She doesn't seem put off. There's the tilt of a smile, almost very similar to threats that wouldn't be given out loud at the joust. Do you believe that these plans could happen? Are they just dreams?
The Lost Tribe does not make plans that cannot succeed. But these are the first steps in a plan that will take many years.
You are the precursor.
We are a precursor. I do not think it is chance that our sires are putting us together for petty reason. I know Corvus would not engage in a simple gathering like this, I know that what we are doing is the first move of a greater game. And with that, I do need to find a way to contact the Banu Hakim. If you are not of their clan, perhaps you would help establish a rapport with them, Alexios.
Maybe. I'm not opposed, but I'm not here to be used either. But we can probably find a path.
Let us be clear. I intend to make covenant with all of you. If we are to travel together, we must trust one another, and that level of trust is a two-way street.
And what covenant would you seek to make then?
That we treat one another as coterie, as family, bound together.
Path of Night, War of Ages is an actual play Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages podcast set in the world of darkness. Alexios is played by Tim Davis. Catrinel is played by Rebecca Steigelfest. Roland Roncevaux is played by Rob Muirhead. Sadhbh is played by Erika Webb. Zorion de Iruña is played by Garrett Gabbey. Your storyteller is Lex Lopez. The music used in this episode was Don't Look Back by DaniHaDani and Maya Belsitzman. Path of Night uses the 20th anniversary edition of Vampire the Masquerade Dark Ages with a few limited house rules. Vampire the Masquerade and the World of Darkness are owned by White Wolf and Paradox Interactive. Be sure to subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, or wherever you find your podcast. You can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/@pathofnight. You can help support the show at ko-fi.com/pathofnight. Look for us on social media at Path of Night Podcast, or email us at pathofnightpodcast@gmail.com. See you next time, Cainites.
It crumbles to ash. And the man with the mallet looks around, deeply concerned. And it is then... What's the name of the big guy in your group?
Ambrose.
It is then that Ambrose marches over, collects the mallet, grabs another stake, and mashes it into the chest of the small Tremere, and seems to find purchase.
Wait, sorry, who crumbled into ash?
The way that you said that made it seem like the Tremere crumbled to ash.
Sorry. The stake crumbles to ash.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
The way that you said that,
We're all like, oh, he's dead.
oh, fuck, he's dead.
and then you're like the small Tremere, and I'm like, wait, there's another one? What's going on?
Where was that one hiding?
When did we get whammied?
It was, they were actually stacking Tremere.
Yeah.
The first one died and the smaller one was inside.
Yeah, Russian nesting Tremere.
It's like Men in Black, but with Tremere.
Yeah.
All right, so
So Ambrose does the actual staking.